Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about chapter 5 of your textbook, and it's about visual media, which includes photography, movies, and television. So, visual media started with the genre of photography. The earliest forms of visual media, movies, television, photos, they were created almost a century ago. And I should say maybe, yeah, exactly a century ago. Historically, we relied on film and cameras to create visual media. Photography and movies all require a camera and film. But nowadays, we don't need any film because our recording is captured, encapsulated in a digital medium. So photography, it is a broadcast style of media, um, like film or TV, but it's a medium that's more realistic looking and brings realistic images into the masses. We know from art history, if you have studied art or if you've been to an art exhibit or a gallery, there are portraits of classical painters by, for example, Hans Holbein, um, the portrait of Henry VIII, Velázquez, Spanish royalty in a family setting, the Infanta, the princess, and many other classic painters who tried to capture reality in a way that shows light and shadows and people with their features. There's also portrayal of things that are biblical, so they're related to our faith rather than from a standing or sitting model. And we got closer to capturing the actual reality, a person's face, their figure, with the daguerreotype. So that was the first publicly available photo process that was used in the 1840s and 1850s. From there, we have advanced so much that we have now um, exceeded the genre of photography. We have transcended the genre of photography to appreciate art even more than the realistic capture of a face and a figure of a person. So why is photography so important? In your textbook from pages 124 to 125, we learned that the history of photography is running from 1839 to this day. Um, People have always been fascinated with photos because people are fascinated with realistic representations of things and recording, capturing historical moments. The historical goals are to make cameras smaller, faster, more affordable, so they can be used by everyday people. And so, what are some of the purposes, some of the uses of photography? First, collect to share information and to conduct surveillance. Second, to capture memories, document our lives, to create archives, photo history. The third is to entertain. In photography, there is an entertaining angle, and photo essays are rather entertaining. Photos can be used to persuade for advertising and other similar purposes for campaigns. And finally, to express original ideas, which would be either in art or in science or in any other aspect of life, such as politics. And this image that you're looking at, an image of a clash between police and civilians, that demonstrates an angle of looking at reality, at real life, urban life, the role of police and the role of journalists. You see a camera there, there's NYPD, so you understand that this is happening in New York City. So there are many functions that photography, that photos can fulfill. Graduation at SUNY Oneonta, a wedding, a child's first birthday, smashing of a cake, just taking a selfie with a friend. There are celebrities, there are people who are professionally used to posing in front of a camera. you know, like this actor whom you probably saw in many films, a woman who turned 102, a dog dressed as a superhero. So the role of photography, the functions of photography are many, many, but it doesn't mean that we cannot capture all of them. So you see some persuasive messages here, the vodka and the fashion industry, and you know, creating art in the form of photography by juxtaposing the images of butterflies with the image of a woman. You create this illusion, impression that something is happening simultaneously, whereas these were probably juxtaposed. So, just to summarize, photography today is based on digital technology. Digital photos are instantaneous, they're easy to manipulate and edit, and there are lots of them, and sometimes you don't know what to do with them. For example, you change your phone, you go from this to this, and now you have to take all your photos and save them on an external drive. There is more work to do. You have more photos than you can use. Every child who's born in this day and age has thousands, if not more, photos. So what do you do with them? Digital photography is changing our culture significantly. We see ourselves more, we're used to seeing our own image, we're more critical of ourselves, we're more concerned with how people see us, and we're more concerned with what people think about us, and therefore you have a lot of ways of manipulating not just the photos, but also our appearances. Making a face like that, getting work done on your face, on your appearance, trying to find an angle that's more photogenic. It is actually changing our lives. It's changing us. So it is not such an innocent medium as we think.